Hola, papacete. Buenos días.
Hola, hola.
Sorry,
Hola.
I was talking my brother come here.
Okay, so I still only have 50% of votes. So please, if you have not gotten the email, please let me know. Perfect. All right, and just to make sure, all right, we are good. Perfect. All right, we have a full unanimous vote. Leave for some suspense there for you because I have to do that. But congratulations, Sophia. You have been accepted as the next Regional Relations Officer of IPSF PARO. And congratulations. You may
Thank you,
have the
guys.
floor.
Thank you, Diana, for the floor, and thank you, everyone, and the people who vote for me and give me the trust. I give back the floor to Diana.
Perfect. All right, fantastic, guys. We are really working through this today. All right. And then we're going to move on to our last election of the day. And that will be our regional project officer. And our applicant is here. Perfection. All right, the 24th IPSF PARO Regional Assembly elects the Regional Project Officer of the Pan American Regional Office for 2026-2027. Our applicant, Christine, is here. And Christine, please turn on your camera and you can have the floor to go over your plans.
Hi, thank you for the floor, Deanna. And I just wanted to apologize to everybody for how swollen my face looks. We got back to Knoxville at 3 a.m. But yes, my name is Christine. I'm a P2 student at South College in Knoxville, Tennessee. Go Vols. Um, I am the APHA VP of International Affairs. This is going to be my, I guess, term as a P2. And before that, I was really digging on social media and really hunting down Deanna's email to get more involved with IPSF because the presence at our small school just kind of wasn't there. So I'll just be talking about my contribution to APHA and how that led me to IPSF. So um, I was the substance use committee chair, and so I helped with the operations like Operation Heart and Operation Diabetes. Like I didn't just focus on substance use because I'm a team player, and when I see other peers struggling with not struggle but just wanting more inspiration for ideas, like I helped out. Like I reached out to over 20 nonprofits in the area, and we planned so many patient care events. Like, for example, the one that I spearheaded for Operation Heart Health was we couldn't go to schools. And so I reached out to an after school program that was kind of like for pre K students and for third and fifth graders. And we did nutrition education and we had food stickers that they could like play with to build their own healthy plate. And it was so fun. I was a camp counselor, so I loved that. And it was a connection in the community that we made. We also went to senior centers, and a long-term collaboration that we did was it was this nonprofit that supported mothers with a history of substance use. And we did an OTC medication safety with them. And then the school actually had to sign a contract with them for us to be able to do that because it was such a vulnerable population. And so the students that come after me are going to continue to support these mothers, so I care about things even when I'm not in office. Um, Also, so that, and then we also did Operation Diabetes. Again, we had diabetes awareness, and we did another presentation at an after school program because our students, yes, we also did tabling events at like Walgreens, but we wanted to do something a little bit more like hands on, a little bit more meaningful for the students. And finding a preceptor was difficult at times, but we did it, y'all. It was hard, but we got it. I can do hard things. Let me tell you something about that. And then in my free time, I'm a volunteer social worker. And with that, you kind of have to like go to people's homes and you have to talk with them and you have to have the awkward conversation of asking them to do a random drug test. And I don't have like someone telling me what to do. It's really just project management. It's really just knowing your audience and being able to talk to people and convince them that they should do something. And then so I'm a team player and I have really good ideas and I know how to get things done in the community. And that just really goes back to IPSF being about acting locally with a global thinking. And so I feel like to the role, I would bring all of these experiences to it and say, hey, this is a campaign that we're doing and it's mostly virtual. However, there are ways to have a local impact if that's something that you would like to add on to your chapter as a school. Um, and then, so something that I'm doing as VP of International Affairs is I put together a brochure or like a kind of guide or cheat sheet of common over the counter medications. And I asked my friends, like I have Spanish speaking friends. Yesterday, I found out that my friend could speak Swahili. So I was like, oh my God, girl, because we were at this conference. So I'm going to ask her to do it. She's a P3, so I didn't know that at first. So I'm asking people to translate it into multiple languages so that we can present, but also give it as a donation to this refugee center in our community. And so it has a local impact, but I'm making it sort of a VP of International Affairs project so that we can have like a master Google Drive of these resources so that every school can contribute and we can send it to every school. Like I'm not going to gatekeep it. Every school can have it and they'll be like, oh, I want to do this too. I want to make a video of it. I want to film in my local pharmacy and show immigrants how to navigate a pharmacy in a new country, wherever they are. I'm sure there's immigrants everywhere, not just the US. And so it's just a way for us to like come together to work on this thing that is a Google Drive that's virtual, but you can make it have a local impact if you would like. Like I'm sure you can find a nonprofit that supports families in that way, or just go to the Juvenile Justice Center. They will take whatever they want, whatever they can get. Let me tell you. um, and so I think for this role, you want somebody that is resourceful. Like I'm not from Knoxville, but I just like to stalk people on Instagram and find out how to like get in touch with them. You know what I'm saying? I'll also go in person and I'll also call. So, and then advocacy. Yesterday, the reason why we had to drive back so late, I'm the Tennessee Student Pharmacists Association delegate. So we had a conference yesterday, and it was this House of Delegates, and it was just a bunch of pharmacists, a bunch of like, we have like in one of our senators is a pharmacist, and that's what the association does, is they try to bring pharmacists into like the lawmaking part of things because policymakers aren't pharmacists, so we have to advocate for our profession. And so they were voting to require everyone to have an intern license because the state of Tennessee doesn't have one right now. And I spoke up, like I said, hey, the student body says no. We like it the way it is. Why do we have to pay for an intern license? And so I spoke up about that. And so IPSF does advocacy too. And so I would encourage our members, like this is what advocacy looks like. It's literally getting up in front of a microphone, in front of professors, in front of asking those professors if they have any friends that are like county commissioners and saying, hey, like, this is what I care about. What can I do? And just telling them what you think. Because if you don't say anything, then they're going to think that their policies have no objections. So even if it doesn't go your way, you still have to say something. And then for webinars, I also can feel like we can have webinars on collaborative practice agreements to advocate for the pharmacy profession. So what a collaborative practice agreement is the pharmacist finds a doctor and talks to the doctor and says, hey, can I use your signature in my clinic, in my pharmacy, to do COVID testing, or can do point of care testing, and can do like just strep throat, like small things. And it's like legal, like you can do that. It's like the doctor says, you know what, yes. It's like this indirect sort of line of authority for pharmacists to be able to prescribe common things for strep or mono or things like that. And it's how we expand our role as providers, as prescribers. And so we had that we had that at the conference yesterday, and I got the guy's email on how to do that. So if you don't have that in your state or in your country, and it's something that you want to learn more how to do, you can definitely do that. Tennessee is doing a lot of things in terms of law, and I just was hearing the conversation as a delegate, and so I want to just be like, okay, if we're doing this in Tennessee, who wants to do that? Or like if you're doing something in your country, how can we do that here? Or if there's free mobile clinics, how do we do that? Like this is things students want to know, because yes, we're students, but there's also like the future. Like I'm sure students care a lot about other things in their community. And so how do you have grassroots movements? And I feel like I have the contacts for that. I'm sure like IPSF has contacts for that too. So I would love to get to know them. And another thing, like I couldn't go to World Congress in Thailand. And so the next best thing for me was to register for the FIP World Congress. That's going to be in Montreal, Canada. So I'm going to that. So I will travel if I need to. We created a global medical affairs chapter at our school. So I'm going to be going to Guatemala for a medical service trip. Like I'll be buying plane tickets, you guys. I will get down and dirty. I'm just kidding. So I just have a passion for all things IPSF. Like I just didn't want to just be within my community of Tennessee. I really care about, HIV Day, World Tuberculosis Day. And I have a writing background. So to the role, I would bring my humanities and writing background because, like, for example, like tuberculosis, a little weird thing I have is it low key contributed to how the World War II started. Add little factoids. And yeah, and I just think that I want to empower students to know that they can do things, can talk to people, and they can have like a butterfly effect into everything that they do. Like I think meaningful change happens through people, and how you get to people is through language, which is how I got into writing. And so I would support Natalie for our social medias, and I would support Sophia for public relations. Like I'll just be like, hey, like, can we add a little pizzazz? Can we add a little, like a cool little humanities or art history thing to make people stop and say, oh my God, like this isn't just a post. This is IPSF being like, wow, this is so thought provoking. I never thought about the world like that, because people are in their own bubbles and that's okay. So yeah, I'm just really excited. And thank you for the floor. I return it to Miss Deanna.
Perfect. So I will go ahead and open the floor for discussion. So again, we need 3 questions. Please utilize the speaker form. Perfect. I do have a first new comment from Miss Sophia. Miss Sophia, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you, Diana. My question to Christine, like she was talking about she's going to sit 5P this year, so I would like to ask how she will think like attending this event could help us connecting and take some of these activities to put on IPSF Paro some projects to get back to our life because you know there are despite we as the students or recent graduates we can attend, but almost all of them they are going to be graduate uh pharmacists and have long years experience. So my question is how like all your experience the experience you're going to got there could support for create some projects to our region.
Perfect. And Christine, you have the floor for your direct.
Thank you for the floor and thank you for the question, Sophia. So, to clarify, the question is how I would use the conference to sort of advocate for IPSF and have more projects for the entire region. Is that correct? I give the floor back to Deanna for clarifying the question. Or, yeah.
Just to make sure that is the clarification, Sophia.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, you can have the floor back, Christine.
So I think number one, I would send out a Google form to everyone within IPSF and just ask them like, hey, what do you want me to ask at this conference? Like, if you can't be there yourself, what would you like me to ask? Like, if I see somebody that works in industry, if I see somebody that is a global pharmacist that works in emergency crises, like, what would you like me to ask? And then I have my own questions too. Like I would go up to any random person, any professor. Like I've been to many conferences. I was in one yesterday, so I know how to talk to adults. And so I would just ask them, hey, like, are you a professor? Where do you work? And if you are a professor, were you an advisor for a club? If you were, like, what did your club do? Or like just ask everybody, like, what would you like to see in students? What would you like to see how like students be more active in? And I would just tell them what we're doing here. Like I would just tell them what we're doing in IPSF and APHA. I'm also in SNAFA, so I would just tell them what we're doing and just let them know and just have them appreciate all that we do and say, hey, like, can I get your contact? Like, would you be willing to support us? Would you be willing to do a webinar? Would you be willing to just, yeah. And a lot of people say yes. I was quite surprised, but a lot of people want to support us. And I would ask if there are students there, I would ask, hey, can we do a collaboration? Because I think IPSF is very global, but that also has an industry aspect because industry is very global. And I would say, hey, can we do a collaboration? Would you, or do you want to know more about it? Do you just want to sit in on one of our Zoom meetings? If that's okay. I don't know if that's okay. And just brainstorm and ask for support. But yeah, I would just get in their faces and I would just really talk all the time. I hope that answers your question. And let me know if it doesn't. I give the floor back to Miss Deanna.
Thank you so much. And Sophia, does that answer all the questions?
Yeah. Let's continue with Tambi question. I give you the floor, Diana.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. Our next new comment is from Miss Tanvi. Miss Tanvi, you have the floor.
Thank you, Chair, for the floor. So thank you for your nomination as well, Christine. As the RPO, you are co-opted members of the Global IPSF 3Ps team. So that's the PE, PD, and PH team. How do you plan on supporting the global activities in reaching PARO and also enhancing PARO members' visibility and engagement within the global IPSF activities? Thank you for the floor. I give it back to Deanna.
Thank you. And Christine, you have the floor for your direct comment.
So the first place I would start is my school, number one, because I don't know if it's like this everywhere, but for my pharmacy school, girl, we are so competitive. I like we love each other, obviously, but everybody just wants to be like the best. You know what I'm saying? So everybody knows about SNAPA. Everybody knows about IPHO. Everybody knows about APHA. And so what I would present it as is, hey, you can kind of like be a little sneak attack and be part of IPSF because it can be your thing. We just want to feel special. Like we don't want to feel, well, it's okay. They tell this to us all the time. Like it's about who you know. You're all getting the same degree. And that is true. And I love that. But at the same time, you just want to feel like you have something that is uniquely yours, that is outside of the classroom, that's outside of the fishbowl that we are in. And IPSF, not only is it global, but it can be your own thing. Like nobody knows about it. And so I would advertise it that way and give people an incentive to join our webinars and earn their certificates, because on their CVs, everybody's going to talk about all the other things, but nobody's going to, Montreal, Canada or Thailand. You know what I'm saying? So I would advertise it that way, number one, because if there's one thing I learned in my business class, it's marketing is really powerful. And I will travel if I need to. Like if we can find a time to have like on ground presence, I will do that. I mean, I'm going to Guatemala for the first time. Let's go. And then let's see. Let me think about the question some more. Marketing that way. Yeah, I genuinely think that would be powerful. And yet I go to a lot of conferences. I get reimbursed for some of them. So again, I would just talk about it to the conference. If there's a way for me to get up into a microphone at one of these conferences, I'll talk about IPSF there too. And yeah, because I feel like IPSF already has great projects. Like our projects and what we do isn't the issue. It's just visibility. And so if you market something really well, I think we can get there. And if we talk about something enough, again, I think we can get there. I also think that so when I was trying to look into IPSF, I felt like some of the national Instagram posts, I had some questions about some of them. And so I think just making the directions more clear, like, oh, what is the, for example, Nanjing statements, for example, I wasn't too clear what that was. And I wasn't sure if that was something I could do as a P1. And so I would say like making them a little bit more clear or having it really simple to reach somebody and ask about it would also help, in my opinion. Thank you. I return the floor to Miss Deanna.
Perfect. Thank you. And then Tanvi, is this another new comment or no?
Thank you for the floor, Diana. I can ask my other new comment as well. Uh, Thank you so much for your answer, Christine, for the previous question. My next question is, how are you going to divide your mandate, if elected, with the three so public health, pharmacy education, and professional development activities throughout your mandate? Are you going to focus on social media projects, competitions, or educational webinars? Thank you so much for the floor. I give the floor back to Diana. Thank you.
And Christine, you have the floor for your direct.
Thank you for the question again, Tanvi. I think what speaks to me most right now will be educational webinars because, but also like the public health activities and social media in a way. I know that it sounds like a lot, but I will try to really devote as much time to make those quality events. But the reason why I say webinars that are educational about how to expand our profession and how to advocate for it so that students can know what that looks like so that it's not such an ambiguous idea is because We have right now in our class of 2028, 100 hybrid students. Like my school has this thing where you can be in pharmacy school, but you don't have to attend in person. You can just be online. And then for labs, you would come in during the summer for like 2 weeks. And so we just have a really big hybrid presence. And I do want to reach those students. And I also feel like that makes me a stronger person to be able to handle how online IPSF is. And so I feel like webinars are really a great way for students to get to know things. And if they're interested in the topic, they'll sign up. And um, social media, I would like to use social media to promote public health projects. Like, for example, my idea with the self-care thing, I think is a public health project, but we also have self-care month. I'm pretty sure it was last month was self-care month. So that is a public health thing because it puts health back in people's hands. And when you do that, people are less scared and it saves the economy money because people know how to do things and know how to deal with their own self-care rather than going to the ER. And it just makes better families because a lot of immigrants rely on their kids to translate everything and it can put a lot of strain on the kids. Like I would know because my mom depended on me to buy everything at the pharmacy counter. So that's where I got the idea. But yeah, and then so yeah, most for pharmacy education, it would be mostly webinars about what we can do that I've just been heard in the conversation, like pharmacy benefit managers, collaborative practice agreements. I think that's been a huge buzz, and I think a lot of students could benefit from getting to know that more because po- policy and law is helpful. Like pharmacy is the most regulated profession. So I do want to like bring that to people's ears more. And the public health projects again would go hand in hand with social media. Like how do we have more community hours? How do we have community service events? If you want to do a nutrition education, like how do you do that? What content? Like I think the hardest part about putting on an event in the community is finding the content. So I would be like, hey, this is the exact PowerPoint that we used for our presentation. Feel free to use it. Like you can have it. Yeah. And so I think just making it easier for people will allow them to be like, okay, I literally have all the resources. I just have to get out there and show up. So thank you. I give the floor back to Deanna.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Right, and then Tanvi, that was the end of that. So then we will go ahead and move to closed discussion if everyone's ready. All right, perfect. All right, I'll go ahead and move those rooms. Again, everyone turn on your cameras.